So I really want to focus in on the answers to what you were leaving as part of the submission to get my Confident Intuitive mini guide. As I'm reading through all of the answers, which are thank you so much for leaving them because I love talking about this stuff. So I will try to get through as many of them as I can in just short video answer clips. For those of you who want to follow along with the mini guide, you can get this mini guide for free. And what I'm doing is I'm going through each week what is intended to be a 4-week mini class for a mini guide to help answer some of the questions around intuition and metaphysical concepts and things that we think about but don't necessarily have the answers to or explanations to. And hopefully my 2 cents gives you some clarity or some confidence. That's the whole point, to be a confident intuitive. And to know yourself and to trust yourself. So again, go ahead and click on the link below, download that guide. I'm going through and uploading videos on YouTube, but we've done week 1. I'm going to do week 2 and go through that guide step by step to help you understand what I think are some of the most important concepts to help you become a confident intuitive. So with that in mind, I want to talk more about imagination and the concept of trust. So when you think about imagination and intuition, really begin to dissect what is my definition of imagination or something that's imaginative. And how do I think about that faculty of the human physical experience? Am I relegating that to be something that isn't an actual part of my reality experience? Am I saying that it only helps me sometimes? How are you defining this concept of being imaginative? Now, for me, I know it is a vehicle, a construct, a faculty of being physical, of looking through the physical lens and trying to navigate through the physical landscape, as well as being something that connects me with non-physical experiences, and however you want to deem that, in terms of imagining things that are part of a fiction story. Like writers imagine things that are fictionalized, and I don't think anyone deems that aspect of or that way to utilize the imagination as something negative, because we all love a good fiction story. Everybody loves Netflix. Everybody loves a good movie, right? We use the imaginative faculty, and in that regard, I think people call it not real. They say, oh, if someone's tapping into this amazing fiction storyline, then it must not be real, but gee, that's a great way to use the imagination. So when you're looking at intuition and your imaginative faculty, how are you defining intuition? How are you defining the crossroads between these two? You have to get clear, because a lot of times I think people are using the ideas of intuition and imagination and the intersection of these two as something that is either negatively focused or positively focused, depending on what topic area you are thinking about in regards to your life. So, for example, if someone was wanting to go into mediumship or channeling and they're thinking, oh, it's just my imagination, I can't trust it, but then again, when you think about the things that you want to write in your journal and you just imagine ideas and words and they come to you, you're thinking about one of these is positive and one of these is negative. One of these is conceivable and one of these is inconceivable. You're doing all of that. You're putting the parameters on these ideas. You're looking at them as either positive or negative. So you need to ask yourself, what is it about me and my belief constructs that would allow me to feel negatively in one regard and positively in another regard? Specifically around intuition, when you're thinking about things that you want to have happen, that may or may not be your intuition guiding you. It has to be determined by you. I can't say one way or the other whether one imaginative idea is intuitively guided and another is not. The way that you tell, the difference that I have experienced that has helped guide me is to understand that my questioning is answered by how I feel. So you have to get clear on what it is intuition is for you, how it feels when you definitively know. And then when you definitively know one experience as intuitive, you can have that be your center. And every other experience can be related to this experience that you know that was definitely intuition and that was definitely how it felt. Do not be confused that intuition is a negative sensation. It is not. That is fear. That is doubt. That is a different construct. Intuition itself, in its pure essence, is guided by your non-physical self and the desire for you to help yourself get better. It is not a negative thing. It is not a fear-based thing. So when you're having some imaginative idea and then you feel fear around it, you need to dig deep into what would I believe is true about myself to feel the way I do about this idea. You know, I'll never have that, whatever that is. I'll never be able to do that. I'm not good enough. You know, a lot of these are opportunities to explore these belief systems in not enoughness, but they're not necessarily intuitive communications, you know, or maybe they weren't intuitive communication like, oh, I'd really love to do X, Y, Z. And then on the heels of that, a negative belief system comes up and says, oh, you know, but you never will because X, Y, Z. So the imagination, as far as I look at it today, is a vehicle or an ability to create some kind of sensorial experience. Now, I know some people struggle with the idea of creating visions in their head. So if you're one of those people that doesn't actually see things, you'll have to look at, you know, the relationship to intuition differently. Maybe there's some other sensorial kind of experience that you can have. But for those who do use visions or visualizations, which is, you know, tied to the imaginative faculty, think about the fact that you may be using the vision to interact with a certain belief system or to get yourself in a particular mindset so you can examine some kind of belief system that you have, which is different than just an intuitive communication. And try not to judge the intuitive communication, because if you have an intuitive communication and then you get a vision of some sort, don't look at it as the end all be all. It may just be a stepping stone. Maybe the idea is just a stepping stone to get to something else. It doesn't have to be the stopping place or the place that you have to get to. It could be that intuitive visualization just gets you to another place, you know, that your soul really wants to be. So try not to put too many limitations on it. Try to just look at it experientially from a bird's eye perspective, non-judgmentally, and to open up your energy in regards to looking at the concepts of imagination and intuition and see what comes to you from a positive regard. So hopefully that helps a little bit.